All right, welcome everybody to another session of James and Jay Dissects The Walking Dead. Today we're going to be talking about Fear the Walking Dead, Season 3, Episodes 1 and 2. Before we get into that, though, let's go over a couple announcements. Our charity is down below. Currently, it is the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Our goal is to get up to $1,000. We're hovering around 500-ish right about now. So if you guys can donate, please do. Links are down below on our Twitch and our YouTube channel. It's also on our echo5studios.com. If you guys can't donate, we understand that. What you can do to help us out is like, subscribe, comment, share, anything you do to get the word out there. And we can't tell you directly to click on the ads before these videos, but I can tell you that all proceeds from those ads goes towards charity. So, before we go and jump on in, James, how's it going, man?
It's going all right, man. Busy. So, but it's going fine. Definitely check out the charity. Got something wrong. I got corrected. The show that is on Netflix is called 13 Reasons Why. And it talks about bullying and whatnot, and then suicide. So watch that, get a better idea of how people take bullying and take stress and signs of depression. And obviously it's fictitious, so it's not real life, but it's related to real life. So definitely check that out on Netflix if you are interested in donating to the charity. At least you can see that it suicide touches so many people, and it's really a worthy cause for us to be donating to. So check out anything, even if it's a television show, even if you see an article on it, check it out and understand that that's where all of our proceeds are going. And that's about it.
Yeah, suicide prevention, mental illness is tough. Everyone handles it differently. Sometimes people stub their toes and they don't feel anything. Other people bruise. Other people break their toe completely. And
Yep.
the same thing with mental. But there's no X-ray. You can't really diagnose it sometimes until it's too late. Unfortunately.
Correct.
But the good news about that is that it's not terminal.
No.
People can come back. Sometimes all we gotta do is lend them an ear, show them some love, and they can come away from the darkness.
That's true. It's true.
All right, man. Let's jump on in, huh? So, season 3, guys. Hopefully, watch a recap of season 1 and 2. Started off a little janky there in season 1, carried on to the first half of season 2, but then started to show some life at the end of season 2. But now we're into fresh season 3. James, what'd you think, man?
Man, I was impressed.
Yeah.
I really like this show. The way they started off, it was a jump the shark moment there, but obviously that's a Happy Days reference for anybody who's not. I didn't grow up with Happy Days, but jump the shark moment is when the show does something incredibly off, kilter, just to grab ratings that they didn't have to throw in there. The death of Travis was unexpected. It was shocking that they killed off such a big character that early. But one of my buddies pointed out they killed off Lori Grimes, who was the spouse of the main protagonist and Walking Dead on season 3 as well. So season 3 seems to be, a point where they're just gonna knock off, a big time star, and they kind of copied off The Walking Dead a little bit here, and they killed off Travis unexpectedly.
Yep.
Um,
Now,
and
now a lot of people are comparing, obviously, Rick Grimes, Lori to the Fear the Walking Dead characters and the deaths. Do you think it's too parallel to the stories, or do you think Fear the Walking Dead should differentiate itself a little bit and make its own kind of track?
so I'm gonna go right in and answer this one question. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, so spoiler warnings here. If you do follow the comics, and check out issue 168, the final issue of volume. I think it's 28. They didn't give a name to this volume yet. It's still TBA on Wiki page, but check out issue 168. There was a big moment in this volume, and it ended off on a, it ended off on an obvious note, if you know what I'm talking about. But a question was, and this is a recurring question, this is all over the internet, is are the characters in Fear the Walking Dead, or is Madison Clark, or who's played by Kim Dickens, and Nick Clark, who's played by Frank Delaney, are they, the beginning of the Whisperers enemy? And will they somehow, meet up with the Walking Dead survivors? That's a great question. It appears that they're giving some sort, and the reason why I say this is it appears that Kirkman and Erickson, who's the writer of Fear the Walking Dead, they're trying to give a backstory to something. They're already saying that Madison Clark is from the South. There's a little bit of a dark side behind her, and of course they're showing how Nick has adapted to walking amongst the walkers, and using the blood to cover himself up. And if you read the comics, the Whisperers cover themselves in the undead skin, and they survive amongst the walkers. So it kind of fits here. And it'll be kind of interesting to see if this is the origin of the Whisperers, but we don't know. I think in answering Jay's question and this question that I got, I think it is parallel to The Walking Dead. I think that they're trying to show, the relationships, and they're trying to show these two shows on kind of the same path, and eventually they're going to stop being parallel and they're going to start to intersect with each other. It's just building up that way. So they went south, away from the United States, and now they're coming back toward the United States. And we're starting to hear that, Madison's from the South, so everything is kind of looping together. And now Madison has no ties to the West Coast. Travis is dead. Mm-hmm. So I think that question is, they are going to intersect each other. In my opinion, I think these two shows will intersect each other in a very unique way. Stay tuned for that. But
and I think
the way it's going,
presenting the characters too. I mean, you have Madison, who was for torturing the soldier in the first season.
Correct.
They really blink an eye releasing the walkers into the military base. Yep. She was a little carrying as far as the plane people there and then the raft. Mm-hmm. So she has some good side, but I think they've been presenting these characters as more neutral than necessarily altruistic good.
Sure.
But so, yeah, we'll see. I think she can play a great bad guy.
I do too.
She has like that persona about her. So I would like to see that.
Here goes the kicker. You always say it too, and we talked about this in other episodes. Are there really good and bad guys in this universe? What's good and bad in the walking zombie apocalypse?
Yeah.
Who's you're trying to survive, and obviously, the people that Madison has killed has been a direct threat to her family. So do you kill to protect your family when there's no other choice? Or do you let things go, have your family die, and possibly get yourself killed as well? I mean, this is a zombie apocalypse in these people's eyes. This is the end of the world, and people are doing, as we see in this episode, you have Troy and Jake in this episode, the two brothers. You have Troy here, who is, a military guy going bad, and he's using the excuse that he's trying to figure out, how the walkers work, and he's using, his research as an excuse to inhumanely kill, living people, and he's also using this as an excuse to kill Mexicans who he doesn't feel are people, So you're seeing the twisted side of the apocalypse in this case, and but then you can kind of, he gives himself an excuse. So it's almost like, yeah, I'm doing this, but look at the research, look at the findings here. I'm able to determine that, certain types of people come back later. I'm able to determine Certain ethnicities may come back later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he's kind of giving himself an excuse to do this inhumane and twisted these inhumane and twisted killings. So, you know, who's good and who's bad. You
But
know,
then again, you have the Mexican group down below where Nick came from, where they said, "Well, looks like you're gonna die. Join the herd out there, protect us."
correct.
You know,
So
it's still self-serving in the end, and both gruesome, obviously.
it's subjective here. How does the viewer take this? And that's what I like about The Walking Dead, and I think that Dave Erickson and Robert Kirkman really make you think about it. I mean, you can obviously say, you know, the enemies of Nick and Madison and Alicia, you know, are automatically the bad guys, but you said that you know you could say that about Negan with Rick, but you forget that Rick killed all the people and all the saviors in the outpost, and Negan killed far less of Rick's people than than Rick killed saviors. So, you know, you have to give that same thought process to the survivors in Fear the Walking Dead. They're killers as well. Alicia's a killer, Nick is a killer, and Madison is a killer. You know, so
I mean, look
just
at
because
Madison going for the spoon to the eye, and that's another once again parallel to the Walking Dead.
the governor.
You know, right there. For the comics, I mean, that's how Michonne pops out his eye with it was a dirty
With
spoon.
the spoon.
But
Yeah, and it wasn't in self-defense. Michonne did it out of torture. Madison did it out of self-defense, but it was the same act. So just because Madison and Alicia and Nick kill people in self-defense or to defend their family, you know, who's to say Troy isn't killing people in self-defense or to defend his family or defend people in at a greater cause? So killing is still killing.
And once again, if you're in the military, you must be a dick, apparently.
Yes.
Hey, shout out to the actor. Let me pull up his name real quick. We know him as Mickey from Shameless. I'm not sure what his actual name is. He played the soldier there who gets pulled through the wall, and gets his head snapped back. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was an awesome.
That was, and that was shout out to Nightmare on Elm Street, when Johnny Depp's character got sucked into the bed, and then blood spurted everywhere. So that was a shout out to Nightmare on Elm Street.
His name is Noel Fisher.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now as you beat me to it.
Yeah.
But he was an incredible actor in this. I mean, and it just shows you with his death, you had a death of an insignificant character, and then you had this outstanding death in Travis. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but just the whole episode showing Travis being this unbelievable warrior and having him look as if he was invincible. I mean, he must have killed 20, 30 walkers and going into, rage mode here. And it seemed like he was just going to be, this invincible character
almost like the
that could
patriarch.
survive anything.
Like, put this on my back. I'll protect us all. And, I still feel like they missed something. With a show called Fear the Walking Dead, the group does not fear them anymore. Unless it's still doing the twist where the Walking Dead is actually the people, not the the zombies.
But then they should have renamed it Walking Dead West Coast.
Fear the Living or something, or the Living Dead, or I can't use the Living Dead, I guess. Yeah, something a little bit different. I like the first episode. They did a little time jump there with Madison and those guys getting them actually to the military base. It wasn't that explained, but we didn't need that. We didn't need that filler. We get it. They crossed paths with them. We got picked up. I thought it was a little off the way where the good brother, came in and basically talked her down, talked everybody else down. I thought that was a little forced. Like, wait, what's going on now? Who's this guy? Yeah.
We like to affectionately call it the Jossam moment of the show. So anybody who's watched the show, this is called Jay's Oceanside moments that he hates. So these are Jossams, and this is exactly what we mean. All of a sudden, another character comes in and is able to resolve the problem. Obviously, it's gotten so bad that people are dying. Travis is in a walker pit. Nick is in a sewer. And Madison has a spoon in somebody's eye. And this guy is just all of a sudden comes out of nowhere. All right, stop this shit. Everything. All right, let's, listen to me. Come on. So,
and then I'm not sure how the walkers got from the sewers to like inside the walls either.
It was the character we just talked about. He heard them in the wall. Remember when Nick, they went to the end of the sewer and he opened up the grate and it came in.
How are the sewer vents like so big that walkers can just freely walk it? You know what I mean? And then they somehow surround everybody too, so they're coming out from different buildings.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're saying. Again, I guess it's just just the dramatization of herd attack, and I guess they wanted to show how again these survivors aren't even scared of walkers, and I think that when Madison and Nick are fighting them with a crowbar, and a tire rod, it just shows you, and it's endless. It's an endless herd, and it just shows you that again. Jay is right here. Why is it called Fear of the Walking Dead when people are just, in the middle of a herd and able to escape? Like at that point, that's when you should have actually killed Travis. Yeah. Is him fighting off walkers and then getting bit and sacrificing himself so everybody could leave. You killed him anyways. Why not have him go out and get ripped to shreds? Kind of seemed like, Jay talks about this all the time. We always joke in the zombie apocalypse, we'll be the most prepared, we'll be ready, we'll have all of our provisions, and then we'll walk outside and get bit on the toe by a walker. And that'll be the end of our survival, Yeah. And that's kind of like how Travis died. Like he just fought 30, 40 walkers, killed them all unscathed, got away, and then he gets killed by a bullet, so it's like,
exactly. Hell? I like to see him like Madison might not have even seen it. She might see like the herd of walkers surrounding somebody, and then being like, he got on the helicopter, right? And then the guy being like, we have to make the camp and find out.
Yeah.
And then have him, he get bit on the shoulder, shows the daughter, and be like, you gotta go.
Yeah.
I'll stay and hold him off basically before they can, hound the helicopter.
And that would have been an awesome death.
Yeah. But instead, it was. I'm still confused by it. I get the shock value because it was strange. The same thing with Chris, though.
Chris's death was forced.
That was different, and this one almost felt like forced too. It's like, wait. So I always look for like connections. Like, why is this character dead? Like, what kind of service does it do to the story? Chris changes Travis.
Yes.
Into this man beast of zombie killer. So it's like, all right, so I figured he'd be around for a bit because now he's going rage mode. Okay.
Yes.
But then he dies, so it's like, so what was Chris's death worth then? If
Nothing.
He can't carry on that that trauma, but then like you can say, oh, Travis's death now sets off Madison.
But she was already set off.
Yeah. I don't think it. Because we don't know who shot. I'm sure it'll be something where she has to seek revenge on the people who shot him down. Somehow tie that hatred into them to give her, a push to hunt them down. But I felt death would have been fine for main character. I think that's good to keep the story progressing. But I think it should have been the dead. Let's put some more fear into them. But.
Yeah, and we got two questions here. One is, what does Jay said it. So we're going to tie Jay's question in here. What's the purpose of Travis' death? And the purpose here, what they explained on the show and what Madison said in the show, was he died to get us here. So now Madison is automatically turning into this, I'm going to keep us safe and put us in a safe haven at any cost. And that's why she said we're going to make this place home even when we have to take this place. And, that's reminiscent of Rick when he got to Alexandria. Same thing, parallel again. Yeah. So, Madison has a lot of similarities to Rick. The second question was, how exactly did Travis die? Some people are saying he got bit. Some people say he got shot twice. Well, they explain it in the Talking Dead afterwards. Is back in the old days, they would tell the soldier to sit on top of their helmets in case the enemy's fired from below and the bullets came from underneath the chopper. So obviously Travis wasn't sitting on anything. And Erickson said the bullet came through the bottom of the plane, went through his stomach and out of his neck. So he knew that he had died, and Erickson said it messed up his organs inside. And Travis knew that if he would have died, he would have turned. So he just took the liberty of jumping out of the helicopter. That way, they wouldn't have to worry about him turning and attacking the people in the helicopter. It was almost like a sacrificial thing, and that's why Jay and I just said, why not have him sacrifice himself in a herd of walkers? If you're gonna do that, it's almost like you just said it. You're this incredible beast mode fighter, and you have everything it takes to survive, and you proved it. Well, you're not scared of walkers. You kill 50 at a time, and here goes a bullet. That's how you die.
Yeah. And one thing about bullets is they don't necessarily always go clean through. But if they have bone, man, that stuff like that, they said on the show, that just ricochets all through and takes all kinds up. You know, it's not as clean as a lot of movies and everything tries to depict. Yeah. But I was confused.
Yeah, that was a jump the shark moment, and that's I wish they would have killed him a different way. But hey, he's gone. So
that's it.
He's dead. One more question here was, who's the main character? We talked about this is talked about. I guess they got this off the internet. Who is the main character? Who in our opinion, who's the main character? Nick or Alicia? And I'm not Nick or Alicia. I'm sorry, Nick or Madison. And at this point, I think they're both the main characters here. I think both their stories are being told, and it's kind of, you look at it. Walking Dead started with Rick. And Fear the Walking Dead started with Nick. Mm-hmm. So I personally think this is Nick's story, and they even feature Nick's face, on the cover art. So I think this is Nick's story, and I think Madison is a big part of it, but I think this is Nick's story. So that could be a hint to them keeping him alive at all costs, and maybe Madison becomes his own protagonist, or maybe Madison is like that secondary character, the bad side. You know what I'm saying? So Nick is the actual good guy, and Madison may be the next villain. That's my opinion.
Madison hasn't had like a solo episode or a solo adventure. I mean, she went to the school by herself, but then she met Tobias. Yep. She had like a couple side things, but Nick's had the first episode. When he went down and met the group down there in Mexico, he wandered off.
Yep.
Luciana. Yep, Luciana's group down there. He goes off to the beach when they're on the boat to go, scavenge.
Yep.
So he's more of a standalone main character than necessarily right now than Madison. But, less people tied to Madison, you never know. Maybe they'll get separated again somehow.
And they're starting to have their own internal conflict, as you see. Mm-hmm. Nick has different ideas of what to do. He doesn't want to stay there. Madison obviously does. And when they do stay there, Nick only wants to get help for Luciana, and Madison wants to conquer the place. So they both have different views of how to go about this, how to go about the rest of their survival life. So it's like, one is almost like righteous. The other one is kind of, shrewd, and it just shows you the direction that they're taking these characters. So I really think that Nick is the main character here, and just to answer your question, especially with the first and second episodes here, you're starting to see Nick seeing the loss in humanity, like in his own mother, and when she held him in a hug and she basically told him that she has a gun, he's like, "What are you doing?"
They didn't make a funny reference to that in The Talking Dead, where it's like that hug got a little awkward. When your mom starts sliding your hand down towards your waist.
You're like, Mom, this is kind of illegal in most states.
Yeah, I'm not sure what signal you're trying to send these people.
Like, I know it's the end of the world, but goddamn, Mom.
Yeah, I know you just lost, your husband, but come on, pump the brakes.
Yeah. So I agree with Jay. I like the first episode more than the second, but of course, we always talk about you need to have that. Once you have that breakneck pace first episode, you kind of got to slow it down a little bit. We got to see what happened with Strand. Obviously, he's quick-witted. There was an uprising with the people outside of the hotel. Strand came in and lied and said he was a doctor, was able to deliver the baby. He got kicked out of the hotel, because the people were like, hey, once they figure out you're not a doctor, they're gonna get mad at all of us. So they kicked him out. So Strand is, he ended up with a nice car. We get to see that he's gonna have his own little adventure. It seems. We don't know what happened to Ophelia. Um, so that's unresolved. And then on the Talking Dead, they had a little segment where she's like, "Where's Ophelia?" And she's giving all these questions about where she could be and what you think, and you can tweet your guess. But that's interesting there. Then you have the Passage survivors, how they're going to tie into Fear the Walking Dead. So there's a lot of different avenues that this show is giving you, and I think it's good. I think it's a good start to a show that really started off on the short end of the stick, and now it's kind of building up. So I think we're in for a pleasant treat to Fear the Walking Dead this season.
Oh yeah, already feels tighter. More future forward. Planned out, better
Hmm.
written. There's always gonna be negatives to shows, and just because we call them out doesn't mean we hate it, or
Yep.
doesn't mean we don't appreciate the actors, the writers. And we say it all the time because we don't want to think that we don't care about the people that actually put their lives into this.
Yep.
Um, Sometimes we just don't like things. That's part of life. You guys might not like this show. Sorry, but um, I think it's definitely on the track that I'll enjoy more. I'll say that.
Yeah, and I agree, because the one thing Dave Erickson said, and I mean, there's plenty of things online where you can see the reactions of the producers and you know some of the writers and Robert Kirkman. Most notably, you'll see Greg Nicotero do interviews, Robert Kirkman, Scott Gimple. Dave Erickson has done a couple of interviews as well. And the one thing that they've said since the season 6 finale and Fear the Walking Dead in the downtimes of these two shows is they are cognizant of what the fans are saying negatively about their shows, and they're making the effort to appease the fans. Um, and even to take away from the show, like a lot of fans complain about the gore, they don't want to push away too many fans or have fans complain to the FCC about stuff and have their show, completely reduced to like a non-violent soap opera.
Yeah.
Then they'll lose a lot of fans. But they also are taking in, the criticism that, they're basically making this too much of a story, or in Fear the Walking Dead's case, the very turtle-like pace of the show and how it's just unbelievably unrealistic for anybody to be this stupid. So what they say in their interviews are, we understand that, and we will give you a better product. We promise a breakneck pace, episode 1 for Fear the Walking Dead, and they delivered. And it was almost like watching a movie, because the two episodes were 2 hours combined. It was almost like watching a zombie movie. And again, you can't fault them. You can't complain too much when they actually delivered on their promise. And it was incredible. I think that if you compare this to the last two seasons premieres, this was the best one. So, very good start for them. And I like the uniqueness of having, two episodes, instead of an extended episode, kind of like saying, hey, we're gonna give you buy one get one free here. You get the first episode, and then we're gonna throw in a second one for you. So that was pretty neat. I like that, and I like when they do that. And I think that that's going to be a pattern for Fear the Walking Dead, where they're going to give you, whenever they have the season premiere and season finale, they're going to give you a double episode at each, and I think that that's pretty nice to do.
And it's smart because like we talked about going back and watching some of the previous seasons where you wait an entire week for an episode and you're like, that's it. But
Yeah,
if you get like the adrenaline rush of the this first episode, and then you get the story of the second episode, you appreciate them both. Whereas if we're to wait another week just to see that, it might be like, all right, that's it. It doesn't make you necessarily want more, but almost makes you feel impatient, or oh, I didn't get what I wanted out of this episode. It was a waste of time to wait for this, But
Correct, and I agree with Jay, and it just goes like Jay said. It goes back to what we like as fans. Since we have that week long, and when I watched Breaking Bad, I watched it when it was available on Netflix. I didn't get into it until somebody said, "Hey, look, Breaking Bad is a good show," and I got to binge watch it. You don't get to binge watch something, during the actual season.
yeah,
So getting these double episodes is kind of fulfilling to the fans. So we don't have that breakdown. I think they did it very I think they were ingenious in doing it where they gave you that fast paced first episode and they gave you the filler one. So it was almost like like Jay said, your adrenaline's up and they hit you with the filler episode to prepare you for next week. Whereas they could have just gave you that breakneck pace episode, you wait a week and then get the filler episode, it kind of would take away from the first episode. You know what I'm saying? So combining them was kind of a smart move there. They're really, in a 16 episode season for them, they're really going in a different direction. And I think that again, that's a testament to they really are interested in keeping the show around and letting the fans know this is part of the Walking Dead universe. And we do want the show to have, the same prestige as the original. And we're going to do everything in our power to make sure it is. So good start, man. I really do. I really liked it. We have some more questions. We had a lot of questions about this episode. So one person said, and we talked about this too, Jay. They saw Daniel Salazar's name in the characters list. Is he alive or is he dead? So we don't know. At the end of season 2 mid-season finale, he was. It looked like he had committed suicide when he burned the cult leader and all the walkers in the basement. It looked as if he died at that moment. But seeing his name could mean either it's a flashback or, he could have like a Merle type of thing, a hallucination of another character. He could be a hallucination of a character, maybe Ophelia in that sense. But, he is listed to appear in this season. So that's a great question. Do I think he died? They made it seem like he died. I'm going to go on a limb and say he did die. Until they prove us differently, I think he's dead. So if he's not, then that was a hell of a Houdini trick to get out of a locked cell and everything's, gassed up and he's on fire. So maybe he's a walker somewhere and he's burnt up. I don't know.
now
But
did they do it in memoriam form? I don't remember or not.
I don't remember either. I didn't remember seeing one either. That's another good thing when they don't do a memoriam for these guys. That means they're still alive. So if anybody can remember if they did one or not for Daniel, if you've seen him on the memoriam, he's dead. If you didn't, he's alive.
Yeah.
But my guess is going to be he's dead and he'll appear as either hallucination or flashback. If he's still alive, that could be a pleasant surprise because I actually liked his character. He was one of the stronger characters. His stoicness, his dark side to him. He's one of those guys. He was a torturer. I like that. I like that he was, one of those guys. Again, like Jay said, is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy? He's rolling with the good guys, but he's doing a lot of twisted shit. So,
He's definitely if you're gonna go D&D alignment, he's chaotic neutral. That's for sure. You don't know what the hell he's gonna do, but he's doing whatever he can to protect his family, even if that means killing you.
Yeah, that's the truth, and he's expressed that several times, even to Travis. I don't care about your family; I care about mine. Question is for Jay. Got a question for my buddy Jay here. Who is your favorite character in the show, and who is the most annoying character in your opinion?
Favorite character? It'll be close between Nick and Strand, but I'm going to go with Nick.
Okay.
I think Frank Delane does an amazing job, just acting in general with that character. I hope he's having as much fun as I am watching it. Strand is a close second, though. I think he's unique.
Yep.
I like that intelligent, methodical kind of approach to things.
Reminds
logical.
me of a Eugene character, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Go ahead,
just
James.
a little less smart, but just a little more dangerous. You know,
Yes.
doesn't
Hmm.
necessarily like getting his hands dirty, but he's willing to if need be.
Yes.
Least favorite character.
Okay.
I gotta go with my boy Chris. Um, you know, no offense to the actor, good person got the chance to meet him at Walker Stalker, but I just didn't like how annoying he was as a teenager that just wouldn't listen. And I'm not sure. I know like when they're kind of selling this series, it's family drama, and you're always gonna have that teenager that just wants to rebel.
Hmm.
But my God, man, it's the zombie apocalypse. Um, and there was some, his backstory is that his parents got divorced, and that doesn't make you a psychopath. I'm not sure why they were trying to push that. They could have done, Lizzie kind of background there, where it's like he started cutting up, mice, yada yada yada. So
Yeah.
that's usually how it progresses. Is a kid starts torturing animals, and that starts showing that they don't have, sympathy or empathy towards animal feelings, and then just kind of escalates and escalates and escalates. Um,
Yep.
Not just mom and dad don't talk anymore. So
I'm just pissed off and want to kill
yeah.
everybody. Easily
Otherwise,
so.
hell, I think 75% of America would be
Yeah. Come on.
psychopaths at that point. Uh, it was unfortunate. Yeah, I just didn't like his arc could have been a little bit better. I don't mind him going crazy. But I wish there's some sort of. This didn't seem like you could ever like that character. You know?
Oh, nice. That's a great answer to a question. Here goes a question for both of us. Do you feel, and this is related to what Jay just said about character arcs, do you feel that Fear the Walking Dead's character arcs are incomplete compared to The Walking Dead? Absolutely. I think that if you look at, Alicia's boyfriend's character, he got bit. That was an incomplete character arc there.
Mm-hmm.
They could have delved into it a little bit more, not too much, but they could have delved into that just a little bit more. Chris's character incomplete. Again, you turn him into a child of a broken home, into a psychopath, and then you kill him. So it was just like, he was a main character. What caused this change, or
Mm-hmm.
were there signs of a change earlier in his life? And then another one is Daniel Salazar. Yeah, you got to know he was a torturer, a conquistador in South America, but why, dig into it. Now he started to have a mental lapse. Maybe explain that a little bit more. Again, you got another character who's incomplete now because he's dead. Is Travis? Are you going to have flashbacks to show us that before the apocalypse and before he was a school teacher, he was like, some sort of bouncer or something, and he's an incredible fighter somehow in the past life? Because it doesn't explain how he can go beast mode like that. You're not explaining that. You kind of gave us a tease that this is going to be a chaotic warrior here, and all of a sudden you kill him. So are you going to have a backstory to show this rage side of him? Did he get some sort of a charge before, a assault charge before he became a teacher? So I think a lot of the story arcs and the character arcs are incomplete here. Is this going to be a problem for the show? I don't know. But already
Yeah.
kind of getting people are already asking us those questions. I assume that more people must be asking the producers as well, emailing the producers the same questions, like what the hell, where are these guys coming from, what's their story, and it just feels incomplete to me.
Yeah.
Some of these big time, stories and storylines in the show.
So to me, it feels more like a switch than an arc. It's all of a sudden here they are, and then next scene, all right, now, you know, um, Alicia is stabbing a guy in the chest with a knife, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, whoa, what happened there? you know,
Yep.
like where was that arc?
Mm-hmm.
Nick's all of a sudden not a druggie, and the hero. Um, with Daniel Salazar, we could have shown him in the background, like in the barber shop when they first meet him, like holding like a razor, and then his wife coming over, like talking him down, like just breathe,
Yep.
come back, come back. something like that, where she's talking him away from the images.
Hmm.
But instead, he's fine. He's sure he's a torturer, and then all of a sudden, boom, he sees, his dead wife, and he's talking to himself. Like, whoa, it's too quick. Like I said, it's more a switch than a gradual arc into everything.
Yep. Yeah. Other incomplete storylines, and another one was the pirates. Are they gonna go back to the story of the pirates? They almost have to. They had a whole villainous group of pirates. The one that Chris killed in the boat, he came from a group, and then Madison, showed that, oh, I have your brother, and then they revealed the I call it the Holly trick, where they released the undead brother, and he bit the pirate on the arm, and then they ran away. They cut his arm off and ran back to the boat. Obviously, they're gonna have to get back to this. Is there gonna be consequences for that action? So it's. I think that they're dropping the storylines a little bit, and again, maybe they'll tell these storylines again. They'll come back up. In the future. Every choice there's a consequence to it. But again, it just feels like Jay said it. Jay said it best. They're switching the storylines up too fast. So, that's just again. This is subjective. I mean, if people feel that the storylines are complete, oh, you got to see Beast Mode Travis and then he died, and that's good for you. I guess that's good for you. Hey, but we want to see a little bit more, especially when you have this guy go fucking ape shit and kill 40, 50 zombies in a pit. I'm saying?
He was talking about like his heritage, maybe maybe about his tribal heritage, or from was it New Zealand? Was that where he said he was from?
Maui, yeah.
Maui. Maybe he was some sort of training with them, some sort of fighting technique, or like you said, maybe he was a troublemaker. Maybe he grew up on the streets and he was a punk, and then he turned his life around, but he still has that, the edginess to him to where you can flip the switch.
Yeah, and usually that's how it happens. Is usually when people have rough past and they have some sort of premonition or awakening, and they can just say, I don't want to do this anymore, and they live a life of righteousness. And it seems like what Travis did, just completely turned his life around for the greater good, and he still was trying to do that even in the apocalypse, and obviously losing his son. And seeing an innocent girl get shot, Ophelia gets shot in season 1, and having his son die, and then his family being threatened, it just pushed him further and further to the edge. And it's almost like he was pushed to the edge, and then all of a sudden, when you think he's going to go over the edge, which he does, he dies. So it's just like, oh shit, come on, seriously? Yeah. Like he never got to completely being crazy. Like there were times that he came back and he was, he talked to, about getting Madison safe and helping the family out. Like he never got to that point like Rick did, where he's completely gone, and had to be reeled back in. I would have loved to see that, but I don't know. I guess they just felt that his character needed to die.
Yeah, I mean, he did just sign a giant contract with not Avatar. Avatar, right?
Yes, Avatar. He's on Avatar.
The next like 4 or 5 movies or something like that, he's gonna be the main character in it, so he's gonna be making all kinds of money.
Well, I guess that's a good reason to kill somebody off then.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Here's a choice: make several times as much as Fear the Walking Dead, or stay on Fear the Walking Dead and just go beast mode all the time. I'm gonna go with Avatar. You can't blame him. So I guess that's the reason why they killed him off. But again, the way they killed him off is just it just leaves a sour taste in my mouth, because it's like, you could have killed him in a better way. It's like, think about Daryl Dixon. If they killed Daryl Dixon off in The Walking Dead, you want to see Daryl Dixon die in a heroic way, going out and having an incredible death, or do you want to see Daryl Dixon riding on a motorcycle and all of a sudden, he gets shot randomly from somebody because he crossed into their territory, fell off a bike? Do you want to see that? No.
Right.
I'm saying you kind of want his death. You want them to do him justice in the death they give him. So, that's just, again, subjective. Some people like the deaths. I haven't heard any people that liked it. and some people thought it was a good shock, and then most people I talked to didn't understand it at all. So, is what it is. One more question from my damn Jay, popular guy here. What the hell's going on? All right, so this is kind of subjective too. Jay, if you were in the base, would you have killed the soldier in Nick's shoes, or would you have done the same thing as Nick at the end of the episode to save Luciana?
I mean, I saw that coming from a mile away. I was like, you're not that dumb to hand Nick the gun. Oh, you are that dumb. All right. Yeah. I wonder what's gonna happen now. I think that was just so, running the wall there.
Yeah, that was too predictable.
That's tough because imagine if it was like my wife there and I had my mom there and I had my sister there. What would I do? I mean, how far gone is my wife? Yeah. That's tough because now I'm putting, I'm also responsible for their lives too.
Yes.
I want to shoot them because then I would have been shot, and then my family would have been exiled for sure. Threatening them, it's a gamble, but it just seems like these people are so pacifist, where it's like this going back to the base, all of a sudden they're like, whoa, he's got a spoon to this guy's eye. All right, we're cool. Let's be friends now. Come back to the main camp over here, and it's like, whoa, this guy pulls a gun. All right, you know what? We will give you medical aid and not kick you out. If I was the camp people, in either case, I'd be like, you guys are out. Get the hell out, or we'll shoot you.
Yep.
That's it. Or even better yet, you guys are chaotic, so we're gonna shoot you here.
I guess the question mainly was, would you have threatened them and then killed them as well? So you go ahead and keep answering. I'm sorry, Jay.
I would threaten them. Okay. And at least try to save her if she could have been saved. If I thought she could have been saved. If she was already dead and then about to turn in 5 minutes, I'd be like, well, that's it for her. But I said, can we please give her a shot? Bring her in. I'll leave after she's okay. Try to talk them down or something like that. You gotta try to save the person you love. So
yes. So basically, in the second part of the question to Jay is, would you have, if you were Alicia, whose plan would you have followed? Madison's to infiltrate the area, or Nick's to go and find Travis? One more for you, Jay. Go ahead.
All right, Travis is dead.
Yeah.
He's gone. All that damage that she saw and falling from the helicopter, there's no saving him. You'd have to. I wouldn't necessarily trust these people. I would definitely go on some sort of sleeping schedule.
Yeah.
Keep that gun close by, and just try to start stocking up on supplies and. Maybe possibly, find your way out of there yourselves eventually.
I guess they ask you those questions because they assume I just try to kill everybody. I guess but I agree with Jay. There's no way you're putting everybody at risk in this point. I think that if I think that you only threaten a group if there's no other choice there. And Nick had plenty of other choices, but threatening the group actually saved Luciana's life. So that's just the obvious. Going with, again, Alicia knows Travis is dead. So obviously she should not go on an adventure to look for a dead person. You don't know exactly where he fell. I mean, you're scouting mountainous areas. You already just came back from, one of the soldiers protecting you being eaten alive. And the other one is basically losing his mind at this point. And he's not really a great fighter because you had to save his ass. Yep. So I wouldn't go and look for anybody. I would stay with a Madison in this case too. There's no point. You're just going on instinct and you're being reckless. So those are just two obvious answers. I think that they were. I think they see you as the calm one, and the rational one, which is true, because he is. But just it's two obvious things anybody would do. I mean, you got to protect your people, and you got to make sure you can get medical assistance for somebody who's in dire need of it, rather than them just being inhumane and just saying, "Yeah, this bitch is gonna die. She's gonna die." Like you can't think like that when it's somebody you love. So obvious answers there. But thank you for the questions. Definitely great questions today. We made sure we got to a lot of your questions because I said we would save them, and you guys did get a lot of them to us. Appreciate it as always. What are we looking forward to for episode 3, Jay?
Let's see what's going on with Philly. I think we need to figure out what's going on with her.
Mm-hmm.
Who has her? I thought it was gonna be the camp, the farm there. I thought they picked her up.
Me too.
But I think they would have shown her. But maybe she's out doing patrols with them. But she had a goal. She wanted to go try to find her boyfriend there or fiance.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I don't think she's gonna stick around. I think she wants to get to that place. They might have communicated, this is where I'll be, not necessarily in the zombie apocalypse, but, if you need to find me, this is where I'll be, to his apartment or something like that. So I think she wants to go there. I think she'll make the trip there.
Okay.
Strand, we got to figure out what's going on with him.
He's in some bad shit, man. He's in some shit.
He's by himself down there. He's going to have a nice, fast car, but he's going to try to cross the border. We saw, a herd of zombies that went inside the sewer after Nick. I'm not sure what's gonna happen to him because he's by himself. I'm not sure he's gonna get tied back into the group. Somehow they're gonna have to cross paths again.
Yes. And we all know obviously what happened to Strand's boat. Somebody took the boat. I think it was the pirate group that took the Strand's boat. That was another question I totally overlooked that. It was on the top list, but the pirates obviously took Strand's boat. You just can't jump on a boat and steal it. You have to have some sort of, skills in driving a boat, nautical skills, I guess you can call it. Mm-hmm. You can't just steal a cruise, a mini cruise ship like that. It's the whole time. So I think Strand's boat was stolen. Jay's right. The group is going to have to intersect with Strand at some point here. It just shows you that the group is veering away from Mexico and going back toward the state. It just folds into the other question we had. And what Jay said, are they parallel to the Walking Dead? They're moving east. I don't think that they're going to keep moving west. They're moving slowly. They're moving east. So,
so I feel like you want to go to New Mexico. That's obviously east of
that's
California.
East.
So
yeah. And then obviously, there aren't that many states between New Mexico and Georgia. Mm-hmm. So if they reveal that Madison is from that area, now she's trying to get home to her hometown. Now you'll start to see the connection there. But I truly think that one of the questions earlier before we get off of here, I think it's been going around the internet that this could be the start of the Whisperers, and that would be awesome because it's you get the backstory of the Whisperers, where in the comic books you don't really get the backstory. So I think that would actually give this show some justice here. But we have to stay tuned to see if that happens. So great questions.
If they're gonna make a tie-in to The Walking Dead, they need to start dropping hints. Get those numbers up. As soon as you start saying that they're gonna cross paths, they're gonna see millions and millions more people watching just to see.
Yes.
How.
Yes.
That'll be exciting if they actually do it. If they do that, that would just blow my mind because that's not because you get the couple NCIS, Las Vegas, Miami, also the crossing paths to work on the crime scene, but you don't get, NCIS is a bad guys for this next season or 2 seasons.
Yep.
That'd be insane and groundbreaking as far as television goes.
Yeah, I mean, you really have to wonder here because they keep emphasizing that Nick is walking amongst the dead, all the time. They emphasize it. They emphasize them using the blood again in episode 1. Troy said, hey, we know that the walkers don't like cold blood. If you use cold blood, they'll leave you alone. So obviously they have that same impression. They keep re-emphasizing this. So this is a big part of Fear the Walking Dead, is walking amongst the dead. So it's almost contradicting to the title. It's almost like Fearless of the Walking Dead. But you know,
And
uh,
if there's one character that would put a walker's face on, it would be Nick.
and then also if there are two characters, it would be Madison and Nick, because
Yeah.
it seems like she has this, and even Alicia, she harped upon it. It seems she has this affinity for her son more than her daughter. So it's like she has a closer bond with Nick than she does with Alicia, almost as if she owes him something for him being a drug addict. So I could see her, I could see something actually happen to Nick at the end of the show. Like my prediction would be Nick dies somehow, and Madison is just like, Nick starts being the a whisperer, and Madison just like, this is how we're gonna live. I'm gonna live like Nick, and her becoming, alpha. So I can actually see that. But you don't know. Maybe they'll go in a totally different direction. Maybe they'll go back to the sea again. Who knows? So whatever.
But you know what? They got Kirkman, Gimple, on board. So, and if they continue this kind of trend in the first episodes, I think we'll be all right. And they already have contracts, set through season 4. So we got at least this season and next season to figure out where they're gonna go.
Yep. Correct. Right on, man. That's excellent questions. Excellent show tonight. We will let you know the schedule. We're gonna work on it, Jay and I. If you have any more questions, definitely email us. Put them on our Facebook page. Put them on Twitter. Tweet them. Instagram. Put them in the comments below on YouTube. Let us know what you think. If you disagree with anything, let us know. If you have your own ideas of where the show is going, or ideas of what these characters are up to next, or feelings about some of these characters, or feeling in the show in general, let us know. It doesn't matter. We'll review them. I don't think I missed one question from the people who watch, some of my dedicated listeners, and some of the show's dedicated listeners. So just keep them coming, but show us some love on the pages, man. We can't tell you to click on any of the ads, but show us some love if you can. And we'll keep trying to give you the best product we can, and dig into this season.
Yeah. So overall, how'd you think? How did it start, season 3?
Overall, 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
8. And I think the first episode was a 9, and I think the second episode was about a 7. So I think it was like an 8, in between an 8. So not bad. I actually think the first 2 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead were better than the first 2 episodes collectively of Walking Dead. People are going to say, wow, but think about it. Walking Dead had a stronger premiere.
Yeah.
But overall, the first 2 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead, especially how they were delivered, I think I think they were both better collectively than the first 2 of Walking Dead. So that's an accomplishment for the show, is for people to actually say, hey, look, we may have actually enjoyed this double episode more than the first 2 episodes of Walking Dead, because yes, the premiere of The Walking Dead was incredible. Yeah, that was a 10 out of 10. But the second episode, it started this trend of slow, lulling, bottle and filler episodes that really irritated people. So Fear the Walking Dead kind of did it the right way. And hopefully they expand this. So very good start to the season, especially coming from, dreadfulness of season 1 and in the first half of season 2. So very good.
All
How
right,
about you,
guys.
Jeff?
Oh yeah, I'd say just a little lower, 7.5, something like that. I think Travis's death could have been better handled. So
Yeah.
I'd take probably a half point off on that. But other than that, I like the pace in the first one, and I like where we're setting up, you can definitely tell there's more hands, more eyes involved in this, more reinvestment into it. So I'm still looking forward to watching them. You know.
Yes, agree. All right, man.
Hey
I'll let you
guys,
take it away, Joe.
sure. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. And like James said, if you guys want to comment, please do. You know, I like looking at your guys' opinions. Any questions, obviously, shoot them our way. Our schedule is going to be a little less often than we expected, only because this is not our full-time job. All proceeds from this, no matter how we get the money, it goes 100% towards charity.
Yep.
So we do have full-time jobs, and we do have real-life responsibilities such as kids. Well, James
Yeah.
does. Uh, you know.
We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna
Yeah.
talk about the schedule, and then the next show we had an idea, and I gave Jay an idea of the show, and I'm kind of like throwing that out. We're gonna talk about it afterwards, and talk about how we're gonna deliver the show. Remember, it's not The Walking Dead, so this is extra. We're doing this because a lot of people requested it, so we're gonna try to get creative with it. But I'm throwing out my idea that I texted you, Jay.
No idea. But for updates, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're going to start posting more pictures up there during at least our D&D session. Go to echo5studios.com. You can see all of our uploads up there as well. Other than that, I mean, Facebook, Twitter, basically to keep in touch with us. Won't spam you, I promise. I keep the messages to the minimum because I know it gets annoying once your feed starts blowing up.
Yeah.
But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for the comments. Check us out on YouTube. If you guys are watching this on YouTube or Twitch, down below is our link for a charity. It's currently American Foundation for Suicide Prevention still. If you guys can donate, please do. If you can't donate, we still understand. Like, subscribe, comment, spread the word, share. Anything you guys can do to kind of get us out there in front of more people. All proceeds 100% goes towards charity. Thank you all. And have a good night.
Good night, everybody.